Guys, welcome back. Tonight we're actually going to do shepherd's pie. This is not the traditional. This is made with hamburger. It's not made with lamb. So it's pretty easy. It is delicious, and it's really good during the winter time, fall, like where we are now. It's quick, and it's a delicious, healthy dinner that you guys can feed to the family. So first we're going to start out with a small onion, and in the meantime you want to get your skillet ready, and you want about 2 tablespoons or so of olive oil, and I've already done that. I've got it on about medium heat, and now I'm just going to peel this. I guess I'll do it here on camera so you guys can see it. I just take off that first layer, and we're actually going to use this other half of this onion. So half a small onion, and then you just cut it, and then you just peel off that first layer. I just get rid of that whole thing and throw it away. Okay, and then I am just going to proceed to chop it. Let me make sure I'm not the camera, but let me get you guys back in get me back in the frame. So just chop this, dice it. You don't have to have it in big pieces, but it is going to add a lot of flavor. If you want it a little bit finer, you can just run your knife through it. Oops. Okay. So when that's done, you're just going to take that and put that in your skillet with the olive oil. About medium low is what you're going to want to put that on for now. Okay, you're going to take your other half of the onion and wrap it in some cellophane in the fridge. What we're going to do now is our clove of garlic. You're just going to lay your knife on it and hit it, and then it comes right out of its peel. See how easy that was? And then I chop the ends off. It's just where it was connected to the plant. Okay, I lay my knife on it again, and I smush it, and then I chop it. Now what you're also going to want to go ahead and do, and I've already done this step, is I've peeled 5 to 6 medium potatoes, and I've rinsed them and placed them in boiling water. I'm going to take about half of that garlic, and I'm going to throw it in those potatoes in that water, just so it can boil along with them. My other half of my garlic, I am actually going to put in with the onions and saute that. Okay. Now, okay. Now once that's done, I take about 3/4 pounds of ground beef, and I just add that into my pan, and I'm going to crumble it, and I'll bring you guys over here in just a second. Okay guys, so there is my ground beef, and I'm just going to fry that over medium heat and get that all brown. Our onions and our garlic is in there. Okay. And we're just going to let that cook. And once that's all brown, we'll come back and I'll show you guys where we're at. Okay, so just a minute, we'll be back. Okay guys, we're back, and right now our ground beef is brown and our potatoes are boiling away. What we're going to do at this point is we're going to add about 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, a couple splashes. We're going to also add about 2 tablespoons or so of ketchup. And we're going to mix about a 1/4 cup of flour in here as well. Okay, and we just want to get that all mixed around. It's going to be thick, but that's okay at this point. What you'll need is about 2 cups of water, and that's tentative. I'm not really sure how much we're going to use. You want to go ahead and set aside 2 cups of water, and just for ease of effort, I put in 2 bouillon cubes, beef, in here for stock. And I'm just going to add that slowly. Now, I didn't drain my beef because it is so lean that it doesn't really have anything to drain off. But we're just going to slowly pour that in. Here are the potatoes bubbling away. Now, it's going to really be dependent on how much liquid you need in here at this point, because you don't want a whole lot, but we're not done with our ingredients. We're actually going to go ahead and add about a tablespoon of parsley. Fresh parsley is much better if you have it. I have dry, so I use about a tablespoon, but you want to use about 2 to 3 fresh. And then you also want to use 2 cups of vegetables. Chickens. You can use any kind of mixed vegetable is fine. Traditionally, it's peas and corn and carrots, but my mixture has green beans, so that's what we're going to use. And you're just going to throw them in there, about 2 cups. Okay. And we're going to still continue to add that water. I've added probably about a cup of it. We still have the burner on medium high. We want this to come up to a boil though, because that's going to help that sauce thicken up. It's really a pretty dish though, with the vegetables and the beef. So we're going to bring this up to a boil. Okay. Make sure you guys can see that. I'm going to check on our potatoes. just want them fork tender, and they have just a little longer to go. So we're going to let this come up to a boil, and we'll be back. Guys, we're back, and this is just basically come up to a boil, and I've let it simmer for about 5 minutes, and this is where we're at. You can see it's nice and thick. I actually only added, let's see here, I added 1.5 cups of water. So I didn't use the whole 2 cups. I only added 1.5 cups. That's going to vary on how many vegetables you have, and basically what it looks like once it all comes together. We don't want it really soupy, we just want it thick. And I think that's really where we're at now. I think that looks really, really good. Alright, so our potatoes are just about ready, and we'll come back and I'll show you guys how to get that part of the recipe ready. So we'll see you in just a minute. Guys, we're back, and we're doing the potato portion, the mashed potato portion of our shepherd's pie. And I have about 2 tablespoons of sour cream, 2 tablespoons of butter, and approximately 3 tablespoons of milk. You can use whatever kind of milk you have. I'm actually using soy milk. But you're going to take your already cooked potatoes, and I've drained those. I'm just going to add those to my bowl. And remember, you have that garlic in there. You just want to leave that in there. Okay. So now, let's get out of your way. I don't have a potato masher, a manual one. It broke and I threw it away and haven't replaced it yet. So I'm just going to use my mixer and hope that it doesn't kick it up all over the place. But basically, you're just making regular potatoes, and you're going to make them however you like them normally. If you like them with chunks, leave chunks in them. If you like them smooth, then by all means, just mix them until they're smooth. You can also add 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan at this point. I'm going to skip that part. And looking at it, you can see that it's a little dry. So I'm going to grab my soy milk, and I'm just going to add another tablespoon of it or so until I get the consistency of whipped potatoes that I like. Alright, this should be a little bit easier to tackle with my mixer. And I have a couple that have gotten away from me. So I'm just going to scrape down my bowl. And with that, a couple more seconds. Alright, so there we are. We have our mashed potatoes ready. We have our shepherd's pie filling ready. Now you need to get a baking sheet, and we're going to assemble it. Also, you want to go ahead and preheat your oven to 400 degrees. And we'll come back and we'll assemble that. Guys, so the assembly is next, and we take our 13 by 9 inch pan, and we're going to take our beef and vegetable gravy mixture, and we're just going to pour that into the bottom of this pan. we're just going to distribute it evenly throughout the pan. Spread it evenly. Okay. And then we're just going to take our mashed potatoes. And we're going to just plop it down in dollops throughout the top, because you want to spread this over your meat mixture. I'm right-handed, so if I look like I'm having a hard time, it's because I was. Alright, so we're just gonna plop these mashed potatoes just in dollops all over the top. Just going to work with a regular spoon here, get rid of this wooden one. Okay, and I've got a little bit still there in the bowl I'm going to work with just to cover any areas that you want your meat and your potatoes to kind of stay separated. Okay. Now I hope you've had your oven preheating to 350, because at this point this is ready to go in. And the only additional step is we're going to take a fork, actually there's two, and we're just going to kind of line it. We're not going all the way through it by any means, we're just making an indentation in those potatoes with the tines of the fork. Okay? And that gives it those ridges, and that's going to help it crisp up a little bit in the oven. Alright, now, excuse me, we're going to take just a little bit of shredded cheese, probably a little less than a quarter cup, and I'm just going to sprinkle it lightly on the top here. You can skip this step if you don't want to do it, it's perfectly fine. I just add that it gives a little bit more flavor and it gives a little bit of color, and I think food should not only be pleasing to the stomach but also to the eyes. So there's that, and I'm just going to throw it in at 400 for approximately 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. I'll come back, we'll look at the finished product, and I'll let you know how long it was in for. So stay tuned. Okay, so 25 minutes later, we're back. It's nice and bubbly. It needs to stand for about 15 minutes, just so that it can thicken a little bit, and then it's ready to be served up. I would really encourage you guys to try this recipe, and as always, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Leave me some comments if you have some suggestions or other things. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching. Till next time, bye-bye.